bad news, but I got some news. Yeah, I'm back. I was gone for a sec, now I'm back. On a unwanted vacation where I was at. Time to get the thoughts right back in my head. Bearer of bad news, yeah, I'm back. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I got some news, yeah, I'm back. First day out, all I needed padding, something to write with. Going out, now I'm in the booth and I'm going in. Feel some type of way, well I tell you now I feel the same. Ain't nobody give me a pop, man, to piss in. Mama never held my hand, running around wildin'. That's what the older Zoes call me. My god brother KG, blacker than any African, but he's smoother than any criminal that I ever seen. Y'all already know who my right hand man is, Mr. Teflon. Any living little Pakistan, man, I missed my man while I was gone in the can. All I had time to do, man, was sit back and think, reconstruct my brain. Now I'm ready to get back in the paint. Double dribble turnover, now I'm playing defense. Hard pole in the water is more like single swim. The way that I'm smoking, call it the ocean twins.
Quick. Y'all already know what time it is. Daily devotions. You know, the relationships in your life, right? They're like the most important relationships of all. The most lasting relationship I will ever have is the relationship I have with myself, right? Like all the other relationships, they come and go. Even marriages that last until death do us part, they end eventually. Like the one person that I'm with forever and ever and ever is me. Like my relationship with me is eternal. So what is this relationship like though? Do I wake up happy, glad to be here with me? Am I a person that I like to be with? Do I enjoy my own thoughts? Do I laugh with myself? Like for real? Like do I? Am I content being with me? Is that a question to ask myself? If I don't have a good relationship with myself, how can I have a good relationship with someone else? If I don't love myself, I will always be looking for someone to complete me just to make me happy, to fulfill my dream. No. We have to attract healthy relationships. Being needy, right, is the best way to, like, attract the most unhealthy or unsuccessful relationship. You know what I mean? Like, what Wayne Dwyer says this thing where when any two people become one, then you're stuck with having two half people. See, because what he's basically saying to me was like, if you're setting yourself up to have somebody else correct you, you're setting yourself up to failure, because you want to be totally happy with who you are with yourself, that when you are in a relationship, you're happy. You want to be so happy that even when you're not in a relationship, like even that you're in a relationship, you don't need a relationship. That's how you want to be. You'll never be good enough for someone that is insecure or frustrated or jealous. So for myself, I had to back up and feel like I had to get into this point, because when I made a transformation from the streets and going back to being this kingdom man type of thing, there's a few things that I didn't do. Because that person didn't love this person, so I had to make this person love that person and remove this thing from that person to make me become who I am right now. You know what I mean? I had to hug the cactus. You know what I mean? And what others feel about others, though, is their own limited beliefs about life. We must learn that life is always loved us unconditionally. It always has. Jealous people, right, are always, they don't value themselves. They don't have no faith in themselves. Jealousy is really, really, really saying, I'm not good enough. I'm not worth loving, right? So no, my partner is going to cheat me or leave me for someone else. This creates anger and blame, right? If you stay with a jealous person, then you're saying that you don't deserve a loving relationship. That's what you're saying. It's all in the same thing with spousal abusers and relationships. They usually grow up where abuse was normal and they just continue the family pattern. Or they blame the world or their partners for their own lack of self-worth. Abusers, right? They'll never stop the abuse pattern unless they undergo therapy. And like, honestly, abusers always have a parent they have deep resentment against. And like, that's why forgiveness, I always tell you, is such a vital tool. They must understand that their path is and to be able to change it. Our parents influence us. All of my relationships are based on the relationships I had with my parents, and I can't stand that. when I first understood that, like, man, I went, like, I can't understand, like, the things that I kept bumping with my wife, because I've really been on with my own lady. That's only been my own lady. That's only been my relationship. But the things I was going through, is the things I would see my mom and dad go through, I could not stand it. And I knew the things that kind of would buck with, were even the things that her parents did, even though, like, didn't know that. But I learned that the reason why I had so many problems in my own personal relationship was because of the very relationships, like, I had in my childhood. I have the abuses that my mother and myself had endured from, like, my childhood. It had all transferred itself into my current relationship, into my marriage. That's why, like the way that I was acting was like, no wonder that, like, no wonder this is like, it was totally that. Like, I was like, no wonder that I always had, like, this weird scarcity of things that I learned from just growing up as a child. You know what I mean? I had to release this great deal of resentment. That's why I broke away from it. I had to. No, I was not staying in that, because I always learned too many things. And ever since that, my relationship where I am me, you know, it just gained tremendously. Instead of standing around and saying that men are no good or women are no good, I'd rather look into the relationships that we had with our parents, and whether, like, the relationships our parents had between each other. For example, what are your current complaints about the man or woman in your life? Think about how would you fill in these blanks. He never, he always, she nevers, she always, men won't, like, women won't. Is this the type of way that your mother or father behaved towards you? Did your mother or father, like, treat your pops that way? Or does this describes the way that your pops describes your OG, your mom? Like, how was love expressed in your world when you was a kid? You may have to reach back to understand the relationship you had with your father or mother, to resolve deep-seated things. To hug the cactus, you must ask yourself, what do I have to give up to be in a relationship? How do I lose me when I'm in a relationship? What messages did I receive as a child that created a belief in me that relationships are abusive? Like, what? Affirm the love for yourself first. Perhaps you have, like, a very difficult time setting limits, and people, like, tend to take advantage of you. This happened to me. This might be you. This might be a message that you are sending out that says, I do not allow or accept myself. So it's okay that you take advantage of me. And this doesn't have to be true for you any longer, just like for myself. Today, begin to affirm yourself, your love for yourself. Look in the mirror frequently. I do it all the time and say, I love you. I love you. As simple as it sounds, is a very powerful healing affirmation. And when you start healing in self-love, it will begin to reflect itself out there. Your own partner will begin to. And, like, you may want to gain, like, a support group, you know what I mean? These are wonderful things to do. This is why I'm doing this. This will help to assist you to have boundary and everlasting relationships of loving yourself in you. That's why I'm building things like this. Check stuff like this, like, within me. That's why I say email me. That's why I'm doing this, to give you guys an outlet to be like, man, there is people out there that's like me. People getting together with similar problems, working on similar things and solutions. These are the groups that we need, because this is what's gonna help us, because we all have different problems. Problems are good things, man. All problems have a solution. Just don't quit. We love to quit, dog. Don't be no quitter, for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Hug the cactus! To be real with you. I'm gonna keep thugging, man, for real, for real. You know what I mean? Y'all keep thugging too. Hold me up. Raise me up in vibration, you heard? Wham! Hug the cactus!